Hello Capricorn, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. So I'm just gonna give you a heads up that we're having like a thunderstorm here. So at any given time, I might need to pause and cuddle the dog. We'll see what happens. So Capricorn, we're gonna do a past, present, and future energy check-in for you. See how things are going for you. I'm gonna use my energy oracle deck. Maybe there's a lot of possibilities. We'll see. I'm going to use the Energy Oracle deck, and then I'm going to use my Rider-Waite Tarot and my Itty Bitty Teeny Tiny Everyday Witch Tarot. So let's get started, Capricorn. Let's look at Capricorn's past, present, and future energy. For the cappuccinos, for the cabbage corns. Capricorn, past, present, and future energy. Past, present, and future energy. Capricorn. Temple path in the past. Present. You have Healer of the Ages in the Garden and the Gate. And in the future, you have a strategy. Patience and journey, door to healing and personal happiness and attachment. You know, it's really interesting that you get the door to personal healing and happiness as the underline, because in the current energy with Healer of the Ages and Garden and the Gate, it feels like currently, like if there's been something that's been stopping you from proceeding forward, from walking into some sort of new cycle in your life, or taking a kind of like taking a chance too, right? With the gate, like going out there into the unknown. It feels like it had something to do with some sort of healing on your part. You know, almost like an Achilles tendon kind of energy where, ow, that I don't feel like I can run through that area right now, so I'm not going to do it. But with the Healer of the Ages coming up, it feels like something is in process of healing, or is near completion, or has completed. And so there's a journey, you know what? Patience, journey, door to healing and personal happiness. I feel like this story is like a journey. Like when I say story, this tarot reading feels like it kind of is some sort of a story about a healing process and being not only patient with yourself, mostly it feels like that, patient with yourself onto some, like the bags are packed and the journey card and ready to go. And there's your opening. That's almost like what is, it's almost as if the minute you walk through the gate, you see what it was. And it's beautiful, it's glorious, it's amazing, it's magnificent. But standing on this side of the gate, it looks like empty and sparse. And, you know, who knows what's out there? I don't know, I have to start from scratch. Oh, isn't that interesting? The minute you cross over the threshold, you actually see what was on the other side. And it's amazing. Like, it's so much better than where you were or what your perspective of the future was too. And attachment, yeah, look at this gray cloudy skies I'm hearing. This is such a gray card, gray cloudy skies. How you looked at yourself, how you perceive things around you. I know. Okay, so in the past you have the temple path. So you did take sort of like a more spiritual approach, looking more deeply into yourself, into things going on around you. And just kind of seeing where it led you, where you ended up, allowing yourself to connect here, feel the connection and move with it. Then in the future, you have the strategy. Ooh, I love these. These are mirrored numbers, 12 and 21. Temple path and strategy. Once you have a deeper perspective and knowing, a greater experience invested in your path, you can create a strategy here. Maybe your strategy is walking through the gate, but I kind of feel like there's a little bit of a heads up here saying, like, you know, the gate, the other side of the gate looks like there's not much there, but once you actually go through past that threshold, there's like, wow, what is this? There's rainbows and butterflies. So let's see what the tarot has to tell us, Capricorn. Let's do one more. The devil is constantly at the bottom. There you are. All right, then. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, because you ended with judgment here, so it definitely does have something to do with going through that gate. That gate, that threshold represents some sort of a new beginning for you. But having been apprehensive, because she does look apprehensive, doesn't she? She just looks kind of apprehensive about going through there, into that unknown space. The Three of Wands, having a clear vision, waiting for what you want. You've got the Three of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the King of Wands, the Five of Cups, the Seven of Swords. Clarity in your leadership. Oh, you know, that's interesting because this Five of Cups I have, and I forget about what these things are. That's why I like using this deck. It reminds me of different aspects of these cards. Five of Cups, minor arcana of the Death card. And I'm seeing with the Seven of Swords, it's funny. I'm seeing not making mountains out of molehills. Fears, deception, and mysteries. Minor death. Don't make mountains out of molehills. Or like stopping that. All right. In the past, you have the Tower, the Knight of Wands, and the Two of Cups. This feels like something shook you up. Something shook you up. Something inspired you. I was going to say expired. So maybe it did. Like maybe in a kind of a funny way, because we're talking about a judgment on the other side here. So this is sort of like your life starting over again in some way. Like it could be moving to a new state, or changing jobs, or ending a relationship, or moving out of your parents' home. Like there's something significant here, but it almost feels like, so it expired. It was like once you saw what you saw in the past, or what you felt or believed or you knew, and it comes in like kind of shocking and unexpectedly, you can't unsee it. You can't unknow it. So who you were in the past just ceases to exist. I'm kind of surprised that Temperance didn't show up here. It could have been one of the clarifiers, because there, even like over on this side, it does have sort of that feeling, Capricorn, of like the past, because here, this is what I feel like, so, okay, it's almost as if like you know something. Yeah, too, because you have the King of Swords here and the Emperor. So there's something that you really, really know on almost like a factual, intellectual basis here. But there's another part of you from the past that was woken up in a way that you probably really couldn't explain it to your friends and your family. It's like, that doesn't really make sense, or that's just a coincidence, or no, but you don't understand. So there is a bit of like the past sort of thinking, perhaps, that comes forward. And it's, oh yeah, well, this is like Temperance. This is like Temperance. So it is there. Having patience. Changing your thinking, perhaps. It's easier to change your intuition or even your beliefs, like sort of like a deeper knowing, than it is about, I know this for a fact, and then I'm going to exercise my choices in life based on this fact. It's almost like that doesn't quite happen as much. But this is huge. And This is sort of even waking you up to the basis of what soulmates could be, your inner child, partnerships that you have with people. There could be someone that you met and it was just like shocking, like I can't believe that this is happening like this. And it's just very inspiring with the Knight of Wands. So this isn't the kind of, I want to kind of describe it as a bit of sort of like a part of an awakening experience for you. And it's not one of the awakening experiences, at least that what's shown here, where you wake up one morning and you realize, what the hell what is it that I've been working towards all this time? What is my family is so fake? I don't know, like it's just, you know, like it's not, this is something else more profound. It's almost like spirit touches you, the divine touches you, perhaps through another person here with the Two of Cups. And now, okay, and then now you have Healer of the Ages, and with that we have the Ten of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Emperor. Wow. This is like clinging on to your solid logic. Okay. It's also about seeing the big picture and rigid leadership too, is what I have written down here for the Emperor. So this is Aquarius energy, and it can be sometimes not so individually focused, because it's Aquarian is more about the collective, the society, the group, and leadership here. So it definitely, I want to say, like, there's something that you're healing on a practical level. Something touched you in a way that kind of spoke to your soul, and now it's about applying that in a really big way. With the Ten of Pentacles, it could likely be like easily seen, easily comprehended by everyone around you. The Garden and the Gate, you know, it's so funny. Every time when these cards came out, I kept hearing a phrase, and then the phrase went away and I started doing a reading, came back to it, I hear it again. I'm hearing paying the ferryman. Paying the ferryman. And it's interesting because you have the Page of Wands, and then you have the Six of Pentacles. So it is like paying the ferryman. So getting from point A to point B, but there's something that has to be paid. And it's the Hermit, which is a little unexpected. I kicked my singing bowls. I cleaned up here. That was interesting. It's a little unexpected. When the bell tolls. Wow. The Hermit. Like something calling you out. Oh, maybe you are. Because you have the key. So you actually are the ferryman. No, you're not. This feels an awful lot to me, particularly with the bell ring, you know? Whenever you hear a bell, I always think of that, was it Zuzu in It's a Wonderful Life? Teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. So it's almost as if, because I think of like gates and portals and thresholds as significant points in our lives where we're about to step into something that we've never been to before, and it's kind of meant for us. So the universe has been waiting for you to go here, to meet you here, but there's only one way through it, and it is sort of like an identification stamp of who you are. And that identification stamp is very energetic, because it's not really your thumbprint or your fingerprint, or, you know, if you've been through, God help, I hope not, a fire or anything, or you've lost these physical identification features will not get you through this threshold. It's an energetic part of you. It's kind of like the whole idea too of Anubis the Egyptian god, like weighing your heart to pass through heaven. It needs to be as light as a feather. You cannot take the heaviness of earth with you into heaven. Those two don't come together. Heaven comes to earth. Earth doesn't go to heaven. So this hermit is almost like, to me, feeling like here you are, paying the ferryman. And paying the ferryman is actually like showing up in your authentic self. Healed, the healer of the ages, and the hermit. It just feels so much like the gatekeeper waiting. The gatekeeper has been waiting for you, and it's been a long time. It's not snowing. No. Oh, the drops are just so big. I wouldn't put it past Canada. I had the air conditioning on yesterday, and now I need to put the furnace on. Oh. This is so beautiful. And the temple path, it's almost as if something happened. Something significant happened in the past, Capricorn, and it alerted the ferryman that you would be coming. I love it. But you can't come to the ferryman like this. And this is, in a way, like this is kind of, because this is very intellectual, and this is very earthly bound, like ego. I would associate the ego. How we lead ourselves is definitely a form of ego. You can have too much ego, overactive ego, and then you're not your soul doesn't get through at all. There's no defined path based on your soul's wishes. But if the ego is healthy, then you are equally protecting yourself and guiding yourself. Oh, I love this part here. Like, you are stepping up to pay the ferryman. Charitable giving, prosperity, and power. And this is a young Hierophant. And this is a young person in the garden and the gate. So about to step into your calling. The strategy. Oh my God. And it's like they're on the boats. They're on the boats to get onto the ferry. Funny. Strategy in the future. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, and Judgment. I feel like leaving behind, because this is not included in Judgment. You're leaving behind any feelings you've had in your physical loss of security or safety. You're kind of recognizing that you are safe. You're leaving behind the concept that money can't buy happiness, or the I don't want to say the concept. I don't know if you're leaving that behind, because there's a lot of truth in that. So I would say you would be leaving behind any sort of false goals. Yeah, like false goals for yourself. Disappointment and disenchantment. So you're leaving that behind. And you're walking through the gate fresh, right? They come from the coffins naked. They bring nothing in this judgment except themselves. I don't go walking out town naked. There is a clothing optional beach at the Toronto Island. My son and I decided to bypass that. I asked him, do you want to go down there? No. Like, okay. Just keeping it open. All right, so let's see. So I think it's always good to let kids kind of make choices on things as opposed to saying, no, don't go there, don't do it. Because you know when they get older, they're going to want to go right to it. It's up to you. You want to go with your mom and look at naked people? No. All right. Let's see what these clarifiers say. This tower moment in the past for you. The Seven of Pentacles, it changed everything moving forward. Oh my goodness. It like changes everything moving forward. You like question, what was I working towards in the past? It is a little bit of that waking up and going, what the hell was I doing with my life? What is this? The Knight of Wands. And this is inspired. This is excited. The Queen of Pentacles. Well, there you are, all excited and inspired. It's kind of making you look beyond the things that you've created in your life, beyond the physical security that you've made, that you have. Or recognizing that you can create this for yourself, but in very exciting ways. It doesn't have to always be extremely practical and at the drawing board, and it can have a lot to do with your emotional state. The Two of Cups. Oh. This kind of feels like a little bit energy. It's the Queen of Swords, the Four of Cups, right? You have over there, and the Four of Wands. It's a little bit like meeting someone or having some sort of opportunity. It's the right thing at the wrong time with the Four of Cups, because you're not in the right energy to see this. The Queen of Swords too, like it's like your mind is running the show here in a point in time where we're talking about emotions. You might not have even, with the Tower, there might have just been something that happened that made you realize what I'm doing right now is not really working for me. This isn't working. I'm not even sure if in the past you had the answer yet. Obviously, it's sort of like with the Four of Cups into the Four of Wands, you sort of know, no, I want to be happy. I want to have a good time. I want life to be good. But you got to it's not like flicking a switch. It's not like flicking a switch. So, okay. Now you have the Healer of the Ages, the Ten of Pentacles. Oh my God, the King of Swords. He landed right on the Queen of Swords. I want to say that there's some, because the King of Swords is on either side of the Ten of Pentacles now. There's definitely some, because with the Two of Cups, someone who sees things the way you do, someone who intellectualizes things the way you do, someone who perhaps has gone through similar, Two of Cups, gone through similar things that you have gone through. Maybe you meet this person at work. Maybe you, I wouldn't even say like, you meet this person at church or court. Like there's something about really using your mind here. But the mind is almost what, at some point, yes, needs to be healed. I think it's more like how the mind is being used. This King of Swords. Right, it can be an authoritative leader and then rigid leadership with the Emperor. There's a sense of control, needing to be in control. The Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, this is almost realizing, you know what, if you want to make something taste good in life, like sometimes you have to deviate from the recipe. Sometimes you have to deviate a little bit from the recipe. And would the King of Swords do that? Probably not. This is the recipe. This is how we're going to follow it, right? This is the professional. This is the surgeon, the doctor, the optometrist, the lawyer, all of that very professional. And yeah, because, if you want to do a good surgery, you probably shouldn't experiment. So let's try something new today. We're going to see what we can do with John's intestines. No, that's not like, right? So there's definitely a part of your life here where that wouldn't come into play. But with some sort of new beginning for yourself, it seems to be the official way to go through. If you want to enter that competition and create the best spaghetti dinner that anyone has ever had, the best spaghetti sauce, just following a recipe might not work. Because of this Ace of Wands is almost like that, whoa, this could go in really well. Like, you could have just had a discussion with someone a couple days ago. You never thought of putting cinnamon in your spaghetti sauce. I don't know if you do that. Maybe good. And you're eating someone's like, this is amazing. But I've always had the best sauces. Try a little cinnamon. Like, it's just, Because the Knight of Pentacles is going ahead, is going like really being logical here, taking it step by step, not rushing anything. You're definitely going to get there. You're determined to get there, but you need to add a bit of spice to get to this new beginning, the Ace of Pentacles. I want to say too, it's almost as if like someone, because you have this Two of Cups here, like if you read in a book, had a date. You read in a book, it's almost like Data from Star Trek. Like if you read in a book, you downloaded all the information there is about dating. Okay, I'm ready to date. You go out and you follow it to a key, but it's almost as if it's kind of mechanical. So nobody's going to really gravitate to that, and you're probably not going to hit it off with anybody. Like, that's exactly what this King of Swords and the Emperor be like. Like dating. Data from Star Trek would just be very mechanical. The Emperor, but right, healing this. So maybe on some area of your life being very mechanical. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this, is turning the tides here with the Ten of Cups. See, that's very emotional. That's hugely emotional. That's building with emotions here. Building with emotions. Because if you don't build with emotions, and you do build with logic and professionalism and your intellect and your plans, you definitely could get this Ten of Pentacles. You could have the best house, the best car, the best job, the best career, live in the best community, but you may feel a void. This is the part I wanted to come into. Paying the ferryman. Here it is. The ferryman has been waiting a long time for you to approach this gate. Actually, it doesn't, I'm almost seeing like a scene play out in my mind where she approaches the gate and the ferryman has just learned to sit in his chair. Wait. But the ferryman is standing up now. The Page of Wands. Oh, this is like, it's time to put, you needed the right ingredient. Temperance. Wait, look at Temperance in the wheel. See, the ferryman is no longer waiting. You've stepped in. You've stepped in to the cycle. You've brought your extra little package of spice. The Six of Pentacles. It was foretold that thou would come, but no one knew when. You were the only one that could lead yourself there. Look at this. With the Six of Pentacles, which is like literally for me, like paying the ferryman. Here you go. And it is kind of like showing up like your authentic self. You have the High Priestess, the Seven of Swords, and the Emperor. The Emperor is the part where you change your leadership in life. And I just feel like with the High Priestess, this is like it was foretold. This is why the ferryman has been waiting. But it's either you've been evading it, the gate. It's been elusive to you. I think more like you've been evading the gate. And then here you come as the Emperor. Only you could lead yourself here. The Hermit. Get an idea about this gatekeeper. The Hermit. Oh, they've waited a long time. Strength card. Very strong. I'm hearing it's somebody who has like an energy. I know some people will go, who's the gatekeepers in the talking about in my life? I literally picture like energetic beings that are there. They're serving us. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You know, pagans and witches and shamans and people that have always been connected to the earth have always told stories about how things are all interconnected, you know, and how the trees talk to me, or the trees talk. I feel like they do. Sometimes I walk through the forest and all of a sudden it's like a wind comes in and they rustle and you almost feel like they're talking to you. You know, it's so weird, but it's not. Because now once science catches up to theory, a lot of different theories, once science catches up to that, oh yeah, I know it happens. Trees do communicate to each other. Trees will do all sorts of incredible things. They will tell each other that there is a particular type of disease or insect that's ravaging the same species, you know, a mile away. They will send chemical signals to each other. They will communicate through their root systems as well. This is all unseen to us until we come up with scientific ways to prove it, and then we'll believe it. So anyways, the naysayers can go take a leap. So this is like literally, I feel like it is in some way like an entity, an energetic force that's been waiting for you to come to the gate to pay the ferryman. And two, the ferryman is like the Six of Swords, getting into the boat and going where the universe has been trying to take you all along. Persevering, waiting. It's a very strong energy. It's mastered something, perhaps patience. Perhaps patience. And this could be someone as well, like if you don't want to believe in the entity, it could be someone as well who's been waiting patiently. The strategy, the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles. Like it just feels like these are the two things you leave behind to be born again. The Hierophant. Oh. This is certain concepts that are ingrained in us, in you, that have made you feel excluded. Certain concepts that are ingrained in the society that have made you feel excluded. That's quite poignant. The Four of Cups. This was really balanced. The Nine of Pentacles. Oh, look at this. This is like going from feeling like you have to do it all on your own to partnering up and realizing that love, oh, what does I want to say? Love builds all bridges. The Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Two of Cups. Because you're leaving this behind. Right? Look at the Nine of Pentacles. Because look at what I've got written for the Four Cups. Money can't buy happiness. And the Nine of Pentacles is quite well off. The Nine of Pentacles has got, you know, they got money to spare in the bank. You need this. Okay, we can do that. You want to go on a trip, we'll do that. Like, there's a degree of comfort that's been established with that. But yes, money cannot buy happiness, but it can buy comfort. Speaking to anyone who has Taurus placements, it can definitely buy comfort. And Judgment. It landed on the strategy. The Four of Swords. It's all healing. The strategy was healing all along. That was it all the time. That was the strategy all along, was healing. That was the only thing you needed to do. I know, it sounds so easy, right? So what do you have at the bottom? You have the Three of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. So you're going to rejoice, perhaps rejoice where you work. You're going to, oh, I feel like you're not going to build on your own. Because the Eight of Pentacles, again, is mastering something. This energy here, the Hermit and the Strength card feels like someone or something that has mastered something. And the Eight of Pentacles is like working on your mastery, mastering something in your life. And the Three of Cups is bringing others into that and celebrating. That was a really cool reading. I like that, Capricorn. Thank you so much. I'm going to go do the extended reading for you guys. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.